Oh, we're live. Sorry. I apologize. How you guys doing? Yes, we have a name for Seattle. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Can
you just tell by the expression on my face?
I'm excited. And we will. We got other things, but we're going to start with some music discussions this morning.
So let's talk. So apparently, Steve Howe did an article with Rolling Stone, and it was awful. Like, it showed just what a curmudgeon, power-hungry guy he is, and guy who has to control everything. It got to the point, Eck, where he talked about how he and Alan White had to sort of endure joining the other guys on stage for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You're getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he's complaining. And he's like, yeah, there was still a lot of tension because they were doing the Anderson, Raven, Wakeman, which, again, is 1,000 times better than anything the other Yes guys have put together in the last decade. And so there was jealousy. And then he rips Geddy Lee because he's like, well, they only wanted to play Owner of a Lonely Heart and Roundabout. Maybe we should have played something more representative, like Close to the Edge. And I'm thinking, how could you ask Geddy Lee, who's maybe practiced with the band an hour, to play something as intricate as Close to the Edge, something Chris Squire would master? Like, why would you even go there?
Right. And also for like an event like this, like
you're not playing a 30-minute song. They're not.
Yeah, you can't do a 30-minute song. It's got to be quick, and it's got to be something that it's got to be your most popular songs. I think that's what they went with.
I read the article, Russ, after we talked, and I really just got the vibe of pomposity from Howe, and the fact that and I was telling you this last night, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson introduced, they were the ones who induced. Yes, they are longtime Genesis and Yes fans. It was like an honor for them to, and for Howe to come out after the fact and say, well, like, first of all, do you think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wanted you to play a 19-minute song?
Right.
No.
Right.
No. And honestly, the highlight of my Yes fan life was in 90 or 91, whatever year it was when the Union tour happened, because it was everybody on stage.
Yeah.
I was like sitting on the floor 10 rows away from
a great show
in Buffalo. It was a fantastic show.
Yeah,
different lineups coming in and out. And reading this article, it was like that was an absolute affront to his sensibility that they had to do that. I mean, I lost a lot of respect for Steve Howe.
I mean, I'll tell you when I realized he was power hungry. I went and saw a show at Great Adventure. It was Asia, and then it was Yes. And it was still Asia with John Wetton. So Asia gets through the set. It's great. I remember tweeting about it. Ruben Frank from CSN was all over it. He's like, wow, what are they playing? And I said, they're playing Court of the Crimson King now. And he's like, oh my God, I wish I was there. It was funny, right? And so then Yes comes on. They play a couple songs, and then there's a little bit of lightning. And so they're like, hold on, we gotta stop the show. So they stop the show, right? And we're waiting, and it's an hour and a half. And then all of a sudden we hear, yes, they're coming back on. They literally came back on. Everything was fine, cleared up. They literally came back on, and I think they did 2 songs. They did something. What did they do? They did, maybe it was Close to the Edge and Roundabout. And then they were like, we got to go. The weather's bad. See ya. And Steve Howe is the one that makes the announcement, right? And it's just like, it was so obvious that he just wanted to get on to the next show and didn't care that people paid money and didn't care that they literally played 5 songs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's a shame. These guys, I mean, they realize that the band is bigger than themselves. Sometimes they should understand that. They should understand that. Especially a band that has had so many iterations. I mean, it's different than like a band that has had like the same exact people all the time.
Right. Well, I didn't realize until reading that article that Wakeman's son was playing
Oliver. Oliver's good. I've seen videos of him. He's really
just weird.
Good.
That's just weird that the son is playing with the one band and the dad is playing with the other band.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like Clarence Clemens' nephew. He's really good. He's not Clarence Clemens. It's the same thing. You can never expect Wakeman's son to be Wakeman, but neither is Jeff Downs, by the way. Jeff Downs, when he tries to be Wakeman, has to, basically cut
different kind of keyboard player. I mean, different kind.
Yeah, you have to cut corners. They are different guys, and so Oliver cut corners.
Rick Wakeman can't hold a candle to Jeffrey Downs' some of the stuff Jeffrey Downs can do, like in the studio and stuff like that, and just
right. That's his specialty. But when he goes on tour and he's got to play an intricate Yes song, that's not necessarily his specialty. You're right about that.
Right. And
you know about music, obviously.
They are. I mean, it's different kinds of players, and one of them. I mean, Jeffrey Downs is incredibly talented.
Yes.
And so is Rick Wakeman. But Rick Wakeman's more in the Emerson type world,
Yeah.
Where they're just, they're very, proficient as far as, technically talented goes. But that doesn't necessarily mean, that they're going to be the greatest writers or the greatest producers or anything like that. Like Jeffrey.
Right. So now the next part of this.
Yes.
So the other day I got this thing on Instagram about a new live Bruce Springsteen album. Now I knew it was coming. And it says it's.
You waited till Jan wasn't here for this, right?
And it's
on purpose.
Stay here for this, and it says it's stripped down and whatever. And I'm like getting a flashback to when I saw that show that I had to cover when he literally was by himself, right? So anyhow,
that show
I play the first song, and it's a interlude for Dancing in the Dark. So it wasn't even Dancing in the Dark yet, and it basically slowed Dancing in the Dark down to like if you were playing a regular album on 78 speed. Like it was just ridiculously slow. And I was like, all right, I can't even wait for this. So then I said, all right, let me just listen to Born to Run. And my wife and I are listening to it. And my wife was a Springsteen fan way before me. She used to see him and Jackson Browne all the time.
Yeah.
When you heard the first 30 seconds of it, it could have been Thunder Road. And you weren't quite sure because that's the way it was. And then all of a sudden he's playing harmonica in Born to Run. And then the energy on it, it was a scale from 1 to 10. It was a 1, and it was just so awful. Like, and that's when I texted to you and said he murdered this song. He wasn't just doing a bad rendition; he murdered it.
Yeah.
To which I replied, "This is one of my favorite versions of it because he's been doing this version for a long time, and this is not like the first time it's ever been recorded."
I'm sure.
Actually, your wife, she is a Jackson Browne and Springsteen fan, should remember the only time I think they ever played together that I remember was the Amnesty International tour, which
I think they did No Nukes together too.
Okay, yeah. So I remember Amnesty International, which had Peter Gabriel, Sting, Jackson Browne, and Bruce Springsteen, which was a hell of a show.
Yeah, I remember that show.
And Tracy Chapman, I believe, was also on that.
Yeah, Chapman was there.
She was just getting started, that is where Springsteen debuted this version of Born to Run on that tour.
No. Because when I saw him for the 35th anniversary show, he didn't play that. And even
he doesn't always do it, but no, he just. I'm saying that's where.
So you're just saying he's had it, but he hasn't used it all.
He doesn't do it all the time, but it's something he brings out occasionally. And this
it's only for special occasions.
No, for that specific tour, he did. I saw him do that, and I have we all. I don't know if you guys have it, but I have my Spotify list of the greatest songs of all time. And on that Spotify list of the greatest songs of all time, which is like, I don't know, something like roughly 100 songs.
I guess he saved it for when he could do a live album that he can collect all the profits for.
Yeah, so I mean, I have that version from that tour.
I'm sorry, Mike, it's true.
It's on that actually. If you go on that version is actually already on one of the Amnesty concert albums. But
but that was given to charity. This time he made some money on it.
Yes, I made some money on it. So no, I think to me, I mean, I love that. I mean, I'm a big fan in general of stripping down songs and going and doing them slowly. I don't mind that. Problem. What I do have an issue with this album, and this album, I haven't heard much of it yet, but it sounds to me like, let me move the chair out here. It sounds to me as if this is like that's what he does on all the songs on this album. Like it's a matter of like, and to me, this is like an effective tool if used for a couple things, like for one song, especially a song he has so many friggin' versions, so many live versions of the regular Born to Run.
Remember a couple of years ago when he's sliding across the stage, everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's in such great shape."
No, he is in great shape, and he does
look at all this energy.
It's like doesn't do this version ever live. I mean, this is something that's very
no, but it's like they gave him an Ambien, and then they had him do it.
I feel like this feels like to me like a quarantine, like the retrospective of a quarantine. You know what I mean? He gets like
he's got COVID. That's why.
No, you're just stuck.
No. I get what he's saying.
Because what it does, it slows down like when you slow it down something like this, you get the words are more a focal point. The words of Born to Run aren't the thing. Like the words of Born to Run are good, but they're not like fantastic. But sometimes that's usually what happens is the words become more of a focal point when you slow it down like this, and then you do a stripped down version. It is a great.
But it slowed down my heart rate. It's rock and roll. It's supposed to be
it's actually a pretty damn good version of the song.
It's like Tony Bennett singing it, for Christ's
sake. You have to be a fan. Like if you're not a fan of Springsteen,
I'm a fan, but not a fan of that, man. I mean,
it's you're not, and I've seen him. I don't know. Gosh, my wife has made me see him. Probably, I don't know. And I, in the beginning was definitely making me. Now I got into it, but I've seen him probably 40 times at this point, like craziness. And I've never seen him do this version live. So that tells you this is not like a common thing.
You're fortunate.
I saw something similar, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah, but why not? Like for him to release another live version of Born to Run would be stupid. Like he's done that. I mean, they just put a Songs of Summer is actually a Springsteen thing that was released earlier during the quarantine.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
That has the straight out live fast version of Born to Run.
This is what I'm more worried about. Now he's going to do something with the E Street Band, and I don't even think they could do something better than Murder Incorporated anymore, and that's sad.
Oh, I don't know, man. Some of that stuff he's done.
That's the last song, the last hit that the E Street Band did with him, right? That Murder Incorporated song. And I can't remember any of
their stuff since that. Actually,
I'm waiting for him to.
Have they? I don't know.
I'm waiting for him to do Tunnel of Love.
Well, that's not.
He would like that now because he wears his.
That's not an E Street album. That's like.
I know.
But no, he did. He had a couple really good ones out. I got to get my wife involved in this, but she's up in the meeting. My son's like, yeah, you want to know? I can't get her here, but I should get her here. I should bring her in.
He could walk in and then reply another day.
I'm going to text her and have her come down and join this debate at the end of the show. All right, so see if she.
Anyhow, that's it.
I doubt she'll jump on here. It'd be unbelievably unlikely, but we'll see if she will.
And uncomfortable.
No, but because she would be able to tell you more because she follows all this stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of the Springsteen. I mean, I know we've had lots of new Springsteen albums since then. There was.
I appreciate Max Weinberg. He's a Devils fan. I've seen him at the Stanley Cup. Good guy.
But really like tight.
But even he could play these drums one hand.
Who best friends of? He's best. Who his best friend is?
Who?
You would never believe this at all. But it is. Oh my gosh, Frank Brown.
Oh wow.
Frank Brown of the NHL.
So what you're saying, Russ,
are like they were in like each other's weddings, basically.
So what you're saying, Russ, is the one-armed drummer from Def Leppard could play the.
Absolutely, like there's nothing to it.
Okay, let's
like they basically could have put Tex Ritter in this band, and it would be easy to do.
I mean, let's just say that here's something I'll throw out there just to end this debate. To end this debate once and for all, Springsteen has released more live music. Since Billy Joel released his last album.
That's true, but doesn't mean it's good.
And Billy Joel has released in his entire career.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean
more
it's
new
good.
music. He's written more songs and more new music. So
I know, but he's taken a left turn and he's gone the wrong way.
New music does not mean good music.
Right.
Yeah, no, but it does mean you're still a musician to me. Like you're not a musician if you're not writing stuff.
It's his original. Okay, let's not.
Yeah, we're done.
My opinion. I mean, you're dead. If you're just. I mean, gosh, if you're just being a jukebox of yourself, just
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's my thought on it. Rusty Chicken will not chime in on this. But I do want to thank. This is my Hockey Buzz baseball shirt. Someone pointed out this for opening day here. Yeah, I just got these. I'm getting you guys some too. I like it.
I love it.
Cool. Really cool shirt. Really like it a lot.
It's gray, so Mike will like it.
Yeah, we may have to put these up for sale at some point if you guys want them. They're really kind of cool. If you guys out there are interested, let me know. Put in the chat room.
They remind me of the mid '70s jerseys that they were wearing in MLB, and actually that was the first year, like in Little League, we had just gotten polyester uniforms, and we finally got away from like flannelish kind of uniforms.
When you didn't have just their like t-shirt jersey.
Yeah, these were like pullovers instead of buttons.
Yeah, like an actual button-down shirt with stitched on stuff. That's
it's nice.
The back has like this on it, so you can see this on it.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, I like it a lot. They really did a good job with it. So
although Mike's number is ridiculous, but whatever.
No, it's not.
Why? Number one, Mike? I mean, get a bigger ego.
It's the truth.
That's been your number, huh? All right. Here we go. Hockey jerseys is something we've been working on for a while. We had one of them, but didn't love the design as well.
This is better than the other one. I did get to wear the other one when we had that charity game. They were pretty good, but this is better.
Oh yeah, no, those were made up. Yeah, those were yeah, that's right. We played a charity game. I forgot about that. All right, here we go. Let's go into this show here. Should we do that now? Let's see. All right, Thursday, July 23rd. Holy hell. All right, here we go. Hello, Hockey World. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2020.
I'm Michael Agello, and in the chat, Funky Cold Zadina says my number is 99. Bite your tongue. Breathe the Sasquatch.
Russ Cohen from Sportsology. Everybody knows what number I'll pick, so I don't need to say.
And I'm Eklund. You're watching HockeyBuzzcast on HockeyBuzz.com. This is the podcast that comes you every Monday through Friday. Fill you in the comings and goings.
41, Anthony.
In the hockey world. Number 41 is Russ's number for sure. And here we are. And finally, I mean, and I think this is a great name. And I know that the problem with this, I think, is how long it took them to do this more than the name itself. Because
that's one of many problems, but continue.
Right, but I'm going to talk about cryptids for a second and cryptozoology for all you, because I'm a big fan of cryptid. You know what a cryptid is, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so a cryptid is an animal that like a Sasquatch or the Loch Ness monster that doesn't exist or hasn't been proven to exist, but people claim to exist. And the Kraken is one of those, sort of, to throw a monkey wrench in it. Some people think the Kraken, has been proven out to be actually real by the discovery of the giant squid over the last several years. And the first filming of a giant squid, which was on my blog in 2015. I know this stuff.
Yeah, that was amazing. I remember seeing that.
Remember that? I know this stuff because my son is hugely into animals, and we watch every documentary and cryptid thing possible. This is now the third cryptid team, actually, in the NHL. This is the second in the NHL, third in, if you count the AHL. Can you guys name the other two? Do you know any other?
The Lowell Loch Ness Monsters.
No, the other NHL.
NHL. I thought you said Sport Pro.
Well, wait, AHL. Is it the Lowell Loch Ness Monsters? No, it's not.
It's just the Lowell Monsters. They used to be the Loch Ness Monsters, and then I think it's just the Lowell Monsters after a while.
I didn't even know that one. I know there's one that's currently going on now in the AHL, one in the NHL. So the NHL one, the other NHL cryptid? It shouldn't be that hard. There are only 31 teams.
I know, but it's like I don't really think about that stuff.
Montreal Canadiens?
No, it's really the Canadians are the real things. There actually are Canadians actually exist. They're not. They've been proven to be
I know
real.
Canucks are real, so I can't say.
Canucks is like one of those names that's like on the edge of like should we be using that name anymore?
I know. It's almost like a Canadian slur, right?
It is a Canadian slur, and that's kind of a funky thing. But they seem okay with it.
Oh, the Devils. Yeah, someone put
the New Jersey Devils. There you go.
By the way, the announcement today that the Washington team is going to be called the Washington Football Club for the entire year. They couldn't get the rights that they wanted.
Some idiot owned 45 trademarks.
Right. I think they want to name them the Washington Warriors, and the guy bought up the rights and he's holding them hostage.
Like, get a life, man. You bought up 45 trademarks. Get a life.
Oh man, I know. And by the way, the other one is the Cleveland Sea Monsters of the AHL. That's the AHL. The AHL.
The Lake Erie Monsters.
The Lake Erie Monsters,
right?
Yeah,
Cleveland, but that's what they are. But they're like, and Lake Erie Monsters is actually named and has a picture of. There is an actual Lake Erie monster, which is like a Loch Ness monster type thing.
Right.
There's many, many, many monsters throughout the world, by the way, like of almost.
Yeah, they're all under your bed and in your closet, but you never see them.
Almost every big lake has one of these, like in the entire world. Like the Loch Ness monster is one we all know about, but like every lake.
It's like every culture having a Bigfoot because they all figured, oh, this is a great hoax. Right. Now we'll do it.
Yep. Phantoms are not a cryptid technically.
No,
Phantoms
they're not.
Ghost. But yeah, the New Jersey Devil is an actual creature that's rumored to be roaming.
It's an actual fake thing that's never ever.
It is probably the least likely of all the cryptids out there to actually exist. The Jersey Devil, I have to say, it is one of the most ridiculous ones.
It is.
Well, there's theory on it,
and it's not really the New Jersey Devil.
You live in Jersey Devil territory.
It's just the Jersey Devil. Like that's how it's known.
Right. And you live in that territory.
I know. It's like stop. I even lived near the Pine Barrens at one time.
Let's get to the, I'm not impressed. I don't think this is the best of the names. I would have preferred. Yeah, I know that you liked Sasquatch Act. I didn't mind that one. I liked Metropolitans because of the history, but they didn't want to go that way because that's a losing name for a losing organization, right, Ross? I don't like the color scheme either. They went with blue and teal and red. And instead of the traditional Seattle, and I know that the Mariners are gold and blue. Everybody thought that they were going to go with some sort of green because
they weren't. The Mariners used to have this exact color,
right? But they were originally they were blue and gold. They had the gold.
That's like going back to when they started.
Yeah, originally.
Yeah.
But most people thought it was going to be like the color scheme of the old Seattle Supersonics and Sonics, the green and gold. They didn't go that way. And Russ, you didn't like something else either.
Yeah, I like the color scheme. Colors I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I don't think the logo is good at all. I mean, that is the most simplistic, bad logo. They had over a year, almost 2 years to do a logo. And to be honest, they made it so understated that
they did.
It's not even cool. Like if you wanted to do it Kraken, you could go so much more into it and have more detail about it. And they didn't. And I don't understand why. If you're going to do it, go all in.
It's 90 minutes old. And if I had $1 for every film a Kraken joke, crackheads for the fan base.
They're gonna play at the crack house. We've heard them all already.
But that's like, you can't name a team and not have that, right? Like that's like
you can. I mean,
in the internet day and age, you honestly think that you can something that people won't be able to mock in some way, shape, or form?
Well, I mean, to that degree, no. I mean, that's an easy one.
If they would have named it Sasquatch, where were they going to?
Right. What's the knock on that?
Right. This is serving. This is room service here. Kraken. It's like there you go.
It's not my job to come up with the names. I don't think it's the best name, but I really do think the logo is so simplistic. They could have done so much more with it, and I don't know why they made it so simplistic like that. It's just, I don't know. I
don't disagree, but I think at the same time, it's tough. Like you guys are baseball fans, right? And then some of the simplest baseball logos are the most classic, right? So you think about. I think the concept is, if you go wacky, like look at teams we've had jump in the NHL over the last few expansions, right?
Right.
Nice, very simple, right? Very simple logo, which I think is a good logo. I think they did well with it.
No, I think they did too.
I felt like they did a good job. The Predators, some people thought was like a little bit of a childish type logo. I remember when that came in. I remember people thinking that the Predator is not a cryptid. The Predator is a saber-toothed tiger, and there's history to saber-toothed tigers being found in that area of Nashville. That's how that came about.
Yeah.
And saber-toothed tigers did exist. They just don't exist anymore. So that in Tampa when they came in, I thought Tampa's logo was.
But I liked it. I got it. Lightning. They have lightning all the time, and I really got it when I was down there for the Stanley Cup, and it was lightning every day for 10 minutes. So I really figured that out. Here's the other thing, though, Ek. When you look at their logo, and I guess what the side patch is going to be, the logo, after like a minute or two, you realize, okay, I see what it is. The side one, it takes you a good 2-3 minutes to realize the Space Needle's on the top of that.
Yeah, I think that one's cool, though. I think that one actually is pretty cool.
I mean, but it takes you too long. It's like there's not enough detail. It's like literally, you know what these are like, Ek? I don't know if you did this in kindergarten. There was some machine that you had to take an outline of yourself, and you would cut it out on construction paper, and you would put it on the paper. Remember, it would be like, I don't know what they took the picture with, and then you cut around, and you basically had a profile of yourself. I feel like this is what they did with this.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, and it didn't. There's another thing. There's another thing you have to have with a logo is it has to be something that as a kid is easy to draw on your. It's easy to draw like on your book. On your book covers and stuff like that. Like, so for me, that's what I remember, like drawing like the various logos.
I used to draw the Rangers logo, the Islanders logo. I drew any logo that there was.
Right, we all draw them as kids, right? And some of them, I mean, like the Bruins, super, like the Flyers, a great logo to draw. Like there's certain things like that are just that made sense. And then there's some teams that are really tricky, that are hard to draw. The Predators is a tough one to draw. Like the Hurricanes, they went for a simple one. think the Blue Jackets I don't never liked their logo or their color scheme or anything about their uniforms. Really, never been a big fan of them. As far as
drawing the Minnesota Wild one is
that one's really tricky because
that's tricky.
Finally figured out that it's actually
it's a landscape.
But it's a cougar. It's actually in the shape of a cat. If you look at
yes, because it's wild. Yes.
If you look at so here's the Kraken thing, right? So we're into the thing here, and this is the actual
I think the font on the K for the Kraken is cool.
With that definite old English type thing.
Yeah,
feels like medieval times sort of. I mean, in the Kraken, which I was starting to say is not actually to
actually
me,
you know what font that is? It's Shrek font.
It is Shreky type font, which is old English, right? So it's like to me it does kind of fit my son was like, if he was designing the uniforms, he would have just nothing but suction cups all up and down the arms, which would be hilarious, Yeah,
see that to me would be like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like that, there's more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people they like it and they say it's simple. I mean, to me, any name can be mocked. I agree with that.
But let's say it's one thing for any name can be mocked. It's another one to say that it just is served up on a silver platter to be mocked. And that's what this is. It's like with Sasquatch, I mean, whatever. They're going to come up with nicknames. They're going to come up with a little but this is Kraken and just what that will do. I mean, I think they could have gone a number of different directions, but whatever.
I can tell you this. There's no way I would ever buy a hat with the first logo. No way. Maybe with the one that says Seattle Kraken, maybe, but then there's no logo after that. You know what I mean?
Like the Space Needle logo.
No, but I'm saying, if I were going to buy a hat, if I went strictly with just that logo with the outline of the Kraken and the red there, that's a boring hat, man.
No, I do agree. It doesn't really look like a Kraken, the S at all.
No.
I do agree that that's not the greatest, but I do like this one.
You know what it looks like? It looks more like Dino from the Flintstones than it does a Kraken.
Yeah, I don't even see it as a Kraken necessarily. It doesn't to me. I agree with you on that one. But
can you put up a proper picture of a Kraken so we have something to go on?
Absolutely, I can. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I'll do that. Let's search for Kraken for a second. I agree. Like an actual Kraken images.
Yeah.
No, but just the way you said that, it's like
an actual Kraken.
Let's search for a Kraken.
Right. So now let's look at this cool thing. This is amazingly cool.
Right. And I think not even that one. I think more of when I think of Kraken, I think more along the lines of something grabbing a shit. Like here we go.
Right.
Like this one, right? Like a big thing grabbing a shit.
They showed something like that. That would be epic.
Right. Like that's the Kraken to us, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Right. So now, show me where that exists in that logo.
What are you going to have for a snack? Cheese and Kraken. Oh, sorry, crackers.
No, but
here's
an example, and I'm not a graphic artist. Here's an example. You give me something like that Kraken. You want to change the colors? That's fine. With the ship, with the Space Needle in the background, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah. I mean, it's an octopus, and that's why I'm not a big believer that the giant squid is the actual mythical Kraken that people talk about.
Right, because it is more an octopus. I
think it's more of an octopus, but a lot of people have said that that's the case. But I mean, it can be, it's disappointing. I don't disagree with you completely on that one. And there's certain things they could have done better. I want to see the logos. I want to know how much they're going to I mean, I'm a big fan of the color, not the black. Obviously,
you know what this is like? I'll tell you what this is like, because you're looking at the front view of the Kraken, right? And it looks awesome. Yeah. This is like if we were watching, Mr. Universe from the 70s and Arnold Schwarzenegger was posing, they're showing the side view.
Right.
Nobody wanted to see him from the side. They wanted to see the veins popping and everything from the front.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. That. No, definitely. I get that.
Now I'm done talking about it.
No. Maybe on a third jersey we'll get something cool.
I think the third jersey should be like a Metropolitans or something.
Right.
I mean, the jerseys are out there too, right?
I haven't seen
them yet. Someone have the link of that. I can check it. But
things do look different on a jersey too. We have to admit.
Yeah, and I think that to me, I really want their home jersey not to be mainly black with other stuff, because I'm not a big fan of mainly black jerseys.
It's dark blue.
Okay, it's dark blue. Okay, so
you see, I'm the opposite. I like when teams wear the white at home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a fan of that, but I think that but I've gotten used to the other now. But
I know.
I was big fan of that. I don't mind the switching around of it once in a while.
No,
But
I don't either. But I just, for whatever reason, I like the white at home.
I think they should alternate every year. That's honestly
that's a good idea, actually.
We wouldn't do that because I mean, it's just like, but I think it's a marketing decision because people will way more often buy the darker jerseys, right? So the idea is that if you want the team, you want fans in the stands to be wearing the jersey that the team's wearing on the ice, then the dark jersey.
And I'm not trying to be overly critical. I see some people agree with me in the chat room. That's great. I'm just giving an opinion, but we are talking about it, and we're happy that the team's in the league. That's all.
Yeah, no, we're happy the team's in the league. It's an 8-legged monster. I mean, I think it's going to be that's my nickname for the team. Hopefully, they have more than that amount of players to ice in the beginning, but you're going to be good. They're going to be. I mean, it's going to be fun. The emerald. I mean, the emerald should be the main color should be the emerald. That's where they should go with. If they went with that, I'd be totally into that.
Let's just hope Phil Kessel doesn't get claimed in the expansion draft because you'll hear all those Phil McCracken jokes.
Gosh, goodness. Oh, I emailed a picture of the home jersey. 1 second, I'll get to that. All right, so. What else do we have to talk about, Mike? There's got to be other things out there.
God, I'm looking at the Mets 30-man roster. I did an article that 25% of it would be fill-in, like filler. That's about right. Anyhow, sorry. Go ahead.
There you go.
Well, okay, we can do the Colorado
jersey, and we'll bring it up real quick
at the end of the show. But I mean, honestly, the news that has been predominant over the last 24 hours is the fact that we're still hearing about like players that might be or might not be in terms of COVID-19. Like we're still trying to get a picture here of what's going on with the Bruins.
Right.
But there's no way to really get an accurate feel of what's going on. And then I think that's just a frustration that we're going to have to learn to accept because it's not going to change this off season.
Yeah, it's not going to change this off season. I mean, there's just going to be so many things that are going to this is going to happen a lot. We're going to get used to it eventually. I mean, so Sidney Crosby is skating again, no one really knows if that was an injury or what it was. I got a feeling it was an injury. It just feels like it was an injury and not like a test because he's skating again. Like he's already skating again. So that would tell you that now that we know that it wasn't because when he left the ice and everything, people were questioning he left the ice, but then wasn't back. I mean, you're going to see. I think it's surprising. It's impossible to think that you're not going to see little injuries right now because there's lots. I mean, these guys haven't been playing.
It is impossible. You're right.
For a while. I mean, injuries are going to be a factor in this thing. It's going to be tough because you can't just jump right into it. I mean, we see it every year. Like when you think about back to when I think about hockey in August, I feel like to me that I think about the Canada Cups, like the back when you had those things and those guys were jumping in after not playing for, just a couple months and not even they're talking 5 months here, not even that long. And at least, and back then they were playing, they were still out and doing things. I mean, people have been literally quarantined in their homes. There's no question that they haven't been able to work out as much as they want to, or the way they'd want to work out. So you're going to have lots of stupid like Carter Hart's back stuff and stuff like that's going to come up.
Right.
How serious it is time will tell.
Well, let's talk about that for just a sec because you played goalie enough to know how the body works. I've played enough sports.
I can tell you right now, my body still remembers how it works because I still feel pains in every day.
Yeah, but this is the interesting thing. Again, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just back spasms. That's fine." Back spasms is a funny thing. You don't know how they got there, and sometimes you can't get rid of them in a short period of time. That's the weird thing about back spasms. And so, again,
they're totally variable.
And it doesn't matter what age you are either.
Yeah, they're completely and utterly variable. It really has there is absolutely no way of knowing. Like when you look, I have discs. I have herniated discs in my back.
I had my back locked up when I was in my 30s. It happened, and you don't know.
Those aren't going anywhere. I know. So to me, that's you have to really wait and see. And I think that I think the smart thing for a guy like Carter Hart to do is if you feel that to get off the ice right away because you can actually help it that way. But that's the one thing we just don't know, right? And I think it's natural to panic in these situations for fans because the guys Carter Hart's obviously a very important factor in the Flyers moving forward here. But I think that I'm really surprised at how few guys we've seen go out. Like it really feels like we've had less injuries. I watched a little bit yesterday of the Predators game against inter squad game that was on, and these inter squad games are kind of fun to watch. They're different. It's the Predators were filming it in a way that was very frustrating to me. I wanted to throw this out there as like some of my.
The Hart's back on the ice already, but just working out on the Phantom side.
Right, which means to me that he's probably fine. It was probably just like he's going to take his time, and he knows because he knows there's going to be a hell of a lot of pressure on this kid, and they know that they're going to make sure he's okay. But I was watching the Predators. I don't know how many of these inter squad things you guys have watched yet.
I've watched just the Flyers, and I watched maybe 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, did you watch the Maple Leafs inter squad games?
I've watched as much as it hasn't been carried live, but a few people have done it on Twitter live, and I've seen a lot of the highlights of the goals. So
yeah,
it's as much access as we've been able to get.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, to me, it's like so the Predators, they were doing it in their arena, and they had here's what I heard, huge plus for the Predators here. I'm going to give them a before
you do that, I see that Sam Carchidi tweeted out Carter Hart should be okay for Bruins opener. I would not have him play in that game for $1 million.
Yeah.
Why in the world are you going to worry about him playing in a game that means nothing?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to
play. If he feels good the next one, put him in the next one.
And there seems to be a little bit of time, right? Because the Flyers have that game, and then they don't play again in the first.
Right.
There. Why am I putting them in the first one? Second, and then they don't play until I think 6th or 7th or something like that.
Why am I putting him in the first one? How do I know Brad Marchand's not going to trip him? Like, why am I going to even risk that?
Yeah. I totally agree. But the thing about these inter squad games, and I think it's good that they're putting them on TV, but it infuriates me to hell, and it infuriates me to hell at practice too. And I've said this many times, and where probably going.
I know where you're going, because
why the hell, like in the Flyers, you were watching a Flyers thing from the practice facility, and why the hell do we not have numbers on the backs of these jerseys?
All right, I'm going to give you the reason, but I did feel bad because the one I was watching had Brian Smith and Jason Martinez doing the broadcast, and they're trying to figure out who the players are.
It's hard. I mean, even
but that is the point. Management doesn't really want you to know. Management doesn't really want you to report exactly what guy is doing what. If you can figure it out, then you can report it, because we have seen when they magically come out with everything with the jerseys and names and numbers on, then they want you to know. So that's how they tells me they don't want you to know.
So they're afraid of scouting is what they're like.
Yeah.
Other people scouting this. Like, I just find that ridiculous.
Yeah.
If we know these players, and if you're
but if it's just fuzzy enough, if you're watching it online, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, but it's just no. So the Predators, to their credit, they're doing it in their big arena, and they have their jerseys on, both sides. So they've got their away and home jerseys on. So they're skating out there, and you know who they are. Like that's Philip Forsberg. That's good. I can tell that's Philip Forsberg. That's Ryan Johansson not working hard enough. Like things like that. I can see this stuff out there. That's Kyle Turris who But what's interesting about what they were doing on this, instead of filming the game, they would isolate on a player on every shift. So,
okay, I like that
player, which is okay because the game really doesn't mean anything, right?
No, the game is irrelevant.
But where that doesn't come into doesn't help people is like the Kyle Turris shift that they focused on was probably the most lazy friggin' thing you could ever imagine.
Because he's not playing full speed.
It's like a scrimmage game, and he's out there for a second.
That's a good point.
A puck or a player. He didn't touch a player or the puck the entire time he was skating on the ice. He goes out there, and it's like.
That's funny.
They're talking about him the whole time, and it's like that was just like hilarious to me that you just sit there and watch this and like, holy cow.
Well, one thing that can happen in these scrimmages is the unforeseen. Yesterday, I saw Twitter blow up. Everybody from Mark Spector to whoever was covering the Oilers when Zach Cassian dumped a puck in and hit Connor McDavid. I think it was in the face, and McDavid went to the locker room, and everybody was in a panic. And then he came back out 15 seconds later. But that's the thing you have to be careful about. It's like you're trying to get prepped and trying to get up to speed for the playoffs, and one misstep, one rut, one stick to the eye, could ruin you. And luckily for Edmonton that they dodged that bullet. But
we do have breaking news. I'll give Funky Cole Zadina credit. He said that Ken Holland said that Philip Broberg's going to play with the Oilers in the bubble. I want to caution people. There is no way they should put Philip Broberg in the lineup. I don't care if he's been playing in the SHL. He's a fairly new defenseman. He actually was a forward for a good part of his career. He's played defense probably the last 3-4 years, I think.
Right.
He is a riverboat gambler for this kind of hockey right now. And there's no way Dave Tippett is going to put Philip Broberg in there, no matter how good his offense is, because he needs to watch and learn what they do defensively. That's the big thing.
Here's with the terminology that was just mentioned. The player, Alexander Romanov's being put in the bubble, he can't play. Or Sorokin is being put in the bubble, he can't play. A guy like Broberg can play because I believe they signed him to an ELC, but that doesn't mean he's playing. It just means he's going to be part of the 31 player. They could be very easily doing what the Leafs might be doing with Nick Robertson. We're going to bring him into the bubble, but we want him to get the experience of being with the team and see the pressures of what the playoffs are going to be like.
Yeah, I don't think
there might be a delay. I do want to say for the chat room again, yes, he used to be a forward. They're all like, is he a forward? Yes, he used to be a forward. He's a defenseman now.
Right.
So that's a reason why many people like myself thought the Oilers took him a little too soon in that draft.
But it doesn't mean just because he's on that 31-man roster, I think that's what the roster size is, that he's going to play. They just may want him to get the experience,
travel with the team.
Right. All that. The camaraderie of the playoffs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I know that, because I've been writing about it the last few days, Nick Robertson has been somebody that the late Leaf fans are getting excited about, and they should, because he had a fantastic year in the OHL. He had a great year for Team USA. He's a really talented young player. But Sheldon Keefe, every time he's been asked questions by the Toronto media regarding Robertson, he's been very careful to sort of he didn't get his shot off in the first two scrimmages, or he's slowly been ramping up. He's keeping it in perspective. He's not, oh my God, I'm so excited. Yeah. We're going to insert this guy in the lineup. He's 18 years old. And Keefe talked about the fact that, a lot of the players on the roster, they've served an apprenticeship in the AHL. They've played in the NHL. They're the best of the best. And Robertson's got to either pay his dues or prove that he can stick with those guys, and if he does, then maybe he gets a look. But more than likely, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I do want to mention, because they're asking in the chat room, who's better, Evan Bouchard or Philip Broberg? I would take Bouchard every day of the week, because he has a more physical side to him besides the offense that he has, and that's a guy who, again, Broberg may be a better power play guy than Bouchard, even though Bouchard's really good on it. But for the overall game, I'll take Bouchard every day.
Yeah.
Bouchard's older. I think he's.
You can't downplay the team building that's going to go on in this thing, because it's
going to be a big deal.
It's a big deal, because these guys are literally forced to be together for a long period of time. So you want to have these players that are going to be a part of the team moving forward. You want to have them around.
Plus, if you need a bottle of Pepto-Bismol at 3 a.m. and you don't want to call your coach, you send Broberg out for it, because if he gets quarantined, then you're not hurting the team.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really, and also defensemen, you can't have enough in the playoffs. No matter what happens, they don't want to play them for sure. But if the Oilers are in the in the finals and have already won 4 rounds or whatever to get there, and they're hurting it down.
Well, they would play Bouchard first, because
Bouchard's
you never know how many people are year older. We've seen situations where teams are down to no one.
But Bouchard's a year older, and he played a full year in the American Hockey League, whereas Broberg played a full year in the SHL and had 8 points. So
no, I agree. Now Bouchard, I think, is NHL ready, so I think there's a difference there right away. But I also do think that you just never know. The playoffs are, but I think the main reason they're having him there is they don't intend to play him at all. I think the main reason is just to get him around the team, to get him, because this is going to be the teams are going to get very close to this process. It's going to be one of those things where they're going to be forced to, and I know I've talked to a lot of people around, and they're really, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes of how they're going to keep these guys entertained between games, and the different, because they're not going to just let them sit in their rooms and play video games. They're going to figure out because there's various conference rooms teams are going to get different times of the day. So there's going to be an off days, you're going to have your practice, but you're also going to have conference room time where they're going to have just trivia games and all sorts of things for them that going on. They're going to have all these different kinds of, like, basically all the stuff that you do in quarantine to keep.
Yeah, they're going to play Pictionary and stuff.
Right, they're going to have all kinds of fun things like that going on.
Well, they were talking about how in one hotel in Toronto there is an outdoor court that they can have like cookouts and stuff like that, and another one, the Royal York, there's nothing like that. So the top 4 or 5 teams, the round robin teams plus the Penguins, are going to have a little more extracurricular activities.
Well, I mean, Crosby, Malkin, they've earned it, man.
That's really funny. It's really interesting.
Carey Price, those are the bigger stars.
Well, not Price. He'll be at the Royal.
He'll be in the other one. Yeah, that's right.
He'll be in the other one. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of TSN today too, and they were saying they're talking about Montreal and Duran's playing with Suzuki a lot right now, and that's been really clicking.
Yeah,
this is a real interesting. I thought about this is a real interesting playoff for Jonathan Duran. This is like one of the, when you think about it, this is because he's one of the few guys on that team who actually has played in the playoffs,
right?
And played pretty well in the playoffs. Like one of his better moments, I think, as an NHLer was in the playoffs for Tampa. Where he scored some goals, made some pretty big plays, and I think that we always talk about Jonathan Duran is just definitely kind of right on the edge of either making it or not kind of making it in the NHL at this point.
I listen. He has scored 20 goals. Like, he has made it. It's just people have expected more than what he could give right now, and it doesn't mean he won't catch another gear at some point. But again, I think people have put unrealistic expectations on this guy. I really do. I mean, this year.
I don't think people have. I think the organization did. They traded for him. They gave up Sergachev for him. They traded for him, and they said he's going to be our number 1 center. That was a mistake. Then he had a career year with Tampa Bay before they traded him. He was traded at his highest value. Since then, 13 goals, 18 goals, 7 goals. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying he's not a good player. In that situation, Montreal's expectations of what Jonathan Duran was going to be and the reality are completely different. He's a good player. He's not a core player. And they traded for somebody they thought was going to be a core player. And I think the only way he's ever going to be a core player is not in Montreal, because the pressures on him are ridiculous.
The injuries, though, have definitely played a factor with him, like his numbers.
Yeah, he's had a few injuries. There's no question.
This year he did. Yes.
I mean, the 7 goals this year is a little bit,
He only played 27 games, but the previous years he missed less than 10 games every year, 73, 77, and 81. So injuries weren't a problem.
7 goals in 27 games. That's like a 20-goal team.
All right, I'm going to give you a scenario here.
I mean, when you think about it, when you add that up, I mean,
Brock Nelson, who nobody ever complains about, averages 0.54 points per game in his career. Jonathan Duran in his career is 0.59 points per game. He's nowhere close to a bust. He is better putting up points than Brock Nelson, and yet people pick on him 1,000 times more than a Brock Nelson.
Right, because he's in Montreal.
Yeah.
No, it has more to do with that too. It's about where he was drafted. It's about now that he's in Montreal. It's about, you know what? But the guy's a pretty good hockey player.
Sure.
No, he is.
Well, you just said a minute ago, well, I don't know. I can't say he's a bust, but
I said he's a good player. I just said
he's a bust yet. I honestly don't. I'm not with Mike, but he's definitely
a bust. They're averaging that a game.
That's why I think this is his chance. I mean, I think this playoff is a really great opportunity for him to do something.
I agree with that.
Like this. He's going to get a lot of chances. He's going to get a lot of ice time. And this month,
just to answer like Anthony in the chat room, it doesn't matter that he was the 3rd overall pick.
Right.
That's long dead and buried. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on his playing ability anymore. None.
I totally agree. We're being joined by Moose Springsteen here. 1 second. Hold on. Come on in. Here he is.
Hello, I am Moose Springsteen.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
He's got a guitar and stuff like that too.
Yes, Mike.
You can't really see it. Here he is. He got a guitar. There we go. But yeah, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Go find Billy Joel and beat him up.
Got it.
Oh, nice try.
It's a family show here.
Joel's wives are much nicer looking.
It's a family show here. Hey. I don't think
Bruce Springsteen moved a lot faster than Bruce.
I don't think my wife is going to be joining us. I don't think she wants to get involved in this. Can't blame her.
The smarter half, the smarter half.
Definitely the smarter half. Definitely the smarter half. We'll find out though, maybe. So yeah, I mean that was one of the things I was looking at, and it was just. Oh, by the way, we also got sent this, which is really kind of cool. I'm going to show you this here. Cam sent us this in the chat room. These are the official. Where is it? All right, here we go.
Yeah, Cam needs to get a life. He
No,
really.
I appreciate this. This is cool.
Kidding. He's a good guy.
These are the jerseys. Right now the home and away jerseys officially. So of this,
I don't love it.
The color scheme is very Canuck-like.
Yeah, it's very Canuck-like. I'll take the white one over the other one, but I don't love it.
I think the black, with the Vegas Golden Knights having done the black thing.
Well, I'm not like, I think dark blue and black is 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I just think the color scheme is very, like I said, if you wanted to sort of, okay, the San Jose Sharks have the market cornered on teal,
right?
The Canucks with the big orca with the C with the fairly similar color scheme. I just don't think this is very original.
Like Esmir said, and like we are all thinking, it is too plain. It is.
Yeah, it's pretty plain.
It's plain, man. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like when you go to a game and you say, hey, to your friends, dress up for the game. Let's get dressed up in, like Flyer stuff. And your friend just comes and he's wearing no Flyer stuff that you could see. And he's like, well, didn't I say wear Flyer stuff? And he's like, yeah, I got an orange turtleneck. That's it.
Yeah. I actually think the anchor would have been cooler if they went with the anchor.
It might have been.
Because it's just a classic symbol,
Yeah, and that's going to be on the shoulders. That's all it's going to be.
The anchor's on the shoulders, but I think the anchor in the middle here would have been, in the middle of this area would have been better. Just because I think that, I like teams with like a classic symbol. Like that symbol symbolizes this. You know
what this is? This is a starter jersey. This is not like an actual real jersey. This is like, okay, maybe a couple years down the line, we're going to rebrand. And we're going to
rebrand. You'll see that.
This is a starter jersey.
But they had 2 years to make the logo.
I know that's where I think this is terrible because you had so much time. And
I'm going to ask a real question here.
Yeah,
this is a real probing question, Ek. If you didn't know what city this team resided in, would you know by just the logo? The answer is no.
No. Someone says it looks like the Seattle Mariners thing.
It does. It does look a little like the Mariners, but like the Space Needle's not incorporated in the logo. The city is not incorporated in the logo. Like, I don't know what city this is from.
Yeah. Like, to me, I would have had I would have had the Space Needle be predominant because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Either the Space Needle into like a hockey stick or like the Space Needle like being attacked by an octopus. Something like that would have actually.
Or Space Needle carrying a Starbucks coffee cup.
Right. Or Bill Gates' head or something just like you put on there that would just like be, or an Amazon logo. There's a bunch of things.
This could be like Salzburg, Austria. You don't know.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
Third. It's not
Sacramento. It could be Sacramento.
I want to see what it looks like when they actually skate with them on the ice too, because it does different. But I think they're not using the blue enough that they need to use the blue more.
So you think it's going to look better when Robert Hogg is wearing one? Like, what are you saying?
Robert Hogg is wearing one. Why 32? What's 32? What's the symbol of 32? Why 32 on the
32nd team?
Oh, 32nd team. Thank you. I knew that was a reason. I was just trying to figure out. There you go.
It looks like a Murray Craven jersey with the wrong.
That's what I'm thinking. Murray 32. That's good throwback.
That is a good throwback.
Not many 32s in the league that we can really think of. Who's the best 32 in the NHL right now?
Rob Ray was a 32.
Rob Ray.
Who's the best 32 in the NHL right now? That's a good question.
I don't know.
It looks like an AHL jersey. Maybe, yeah.
There are some nice AHL jerseys, I have to say.
There are some nice AHL jerseys. I wore the Calgary thing from yesterday. I thought was pretty cool. And I found out Calgary Cowboys jersey was worn by the Calgary Hitmen last year. I didn't realize that.
Heck, pull up Lowell's, the Lock Monsters.
Okay, I'll get that. Yeah. I'll check that. The Lowell Loch Monsters jersey.
Yeah, or the Lowell Monsters. I think they just are now.
Yeah, I'll find it. You guys can keep talking about something.
Yeah, I don't know. It is very plain. It is. Somebody said it looks like the Suzuki symbol. Like, I can't disagree with any of that.
I see the Suzuki symbol. Yeah, definitely. Let's see if I can find an image of this thing.
You know what? It looked worse on a jersey than it did just plain.
Here it is. Okay. Here's our media guide at least. Oh, here it is. This is pretty good. All right. Check this out. I'll bring this up. Where is it?
Let's see it.
Sorry, coming up any second. This is exciting television. I'm sorry about guys.
The way it is.
I just lost it.
You lost it. All right.
I lost it, but no, I mean, it's more. It reminds more of the Devils type thing.
But even the Devils thing makes more sense.
Yeah, I think the Devils. You know, the old Jersey Devils, actually from the other league. I like their jerseys. You remember them at all?
No.
You know, the Jersey Devils were a team in another WHA, but another league that played out of Cherry Hill.
No, but that team was I know that league, and I remember because I interviewed someone at the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame that played for that Cherry Hill team. Hold on.
Yeah, to answer Esmir's – we lost that. To answer Esmir's question in the chat, there was a fan survey. They had over 1,000 names that were submitted, and they weaned it down to a few, and then I guess they did some sort of analysis of it, and that's why they went with Kraken. But
yeah, I'm looking at that other Jersey Devils logo. It's hideous. It's also the EHL, so like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they spent a lot on branding for that. That's
anybody who wants to ask questions, prospect or otherwise, shooting them in the chat room.
Yeah, I did see something online regarding the number 2 pick and the LA Kings, and what direction they were going to go. And again, like this week they're back to Stützle after last week being Byfield.
No, I think it's Byfield. I think that's how they're going to go. I think they looked into everything like we talked about, but in the end, I think they're going to go Byfield because, again, maybe Velarde doesn't play center. One of those guys just won't play center. That's not the end of the world. Right? That one, it's a little cartoonish, but I have a better feel for what that is.
Yeah. No, that's definitely although it looks more like an alligator than a Loch Ness monster. But yeah, I totally get it. I like that a lot. I mean, then this one up here is very Utica. Well, that's the Lowell Devils. Okay, so that's
that's the Lowell Devils.
That was the Devils logo, which I'm never been the biggest fan of.
But I think if they'd have done something a little bit, what's that one down below in the middle? The front view is probably better.
This one here, like that.
Yeah. No. Go back.
All right.
I meant on the right side. On the right side, on the right side where it says the logo. No. Go back.
Sorry.
Down from where the big logo is, there's one in the middle there. No, all the way to the right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep going
to the right.
Keep going.
Keep going. No, all the way. No. Okay.
Forget it.
Never mind. But there's another logo there on the other side where there's the big picture of the Lowell Loch Monsters logo. And the one in the middle there, the front view is actually great. It's got the claws on the front. Okay, that's terrific. No, it's on the other
over side. Here. I see what you're talking about. Down here. Okay, got it. You got it. This one.
Like that.
There you go.
That's better.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's a good logo.
I agree with that.
I think the font can be improved on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
River Rat 55 came up with the answer. The best 32 in the league is Jonathan Quick.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Just to answer Funky, will Robertson play against Columbus? Not to start the series. If they
there's no way.
That's the old Jersey Devils logo from way back when they play. And I was really hoping the Devils would go with this way back when.
Oh my God!
This logo here, because
I was just saying that's hideous.
This logo here,
it's hideous.
What the hell is that?
It's a J and a D.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's what it is. I liked it. I don't know why. Maybe I grew up in Cherry Hill, so maybe.
So this is interesting. Esmir is asking. I know. You and Glenn Foley. Do you think Jack Hughes will improve behind the bench with Lindy Ruff? And I think Lindy will let Jack be very offensive because I think he knows that will be a key to the team. Yeah. And Lindy has definitely eased up on the all defense being. You have to be 100% defensively responsible. So I think he'll be good with Jack Hughes.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I definitely think so. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
If Anthony's asking about any Ranger players that might be, two guys that I could think of, Stephen Fogarty. I don't know if he'll make the bubble or not, but he does have size and can play a real good grinded out style and put in a few points. And Tarmo Reunanen, a Finnish defenseman who is over now. I think he played some in the AHL this year, would be another guy who I think is a little more advanced than we realized. Like, he'd be a good guy you could just plug in on the blue line if you had injuries, or, you know, if Eric Stahl wasn't playing well or something like that. But again, I don't know if he's on the roster. That'll come out today. Is Kravtsov with the team? I think he is.
I think he is too.
Razor in the chat asks, who starts in net for Pittsburgh? It's Murray.
Oh, it's Murray. It's not even close.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Murray talking to people. Yep. I think that's the case. He's definitely.
Yeah, Kakko's looking good, but again, the thing with Kakko is in camp when nobody's checking him, when he has a lot of space, Kakko looks great. If Kakko gets anywhere near the net with the hands he has, he's going to score. But the problem is he has to get there, and right now his skating's not good enough to find that open area. If he gets a little better with skating, then you'll get to see the real Kaapo Kakko.
Well, a couple people in the chat are asking who's going to get hired as the replacement for Fuda in LA, whether Yannetti will be the new agent or not.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to even do a replacement.
Yeah.
Like, they may go smaller and leave Yannetti where he is, which he's great at what he does. He does deserve to get that spot. He really does. But I don't know if it's going to happen.
Did you did you guys see this? This is the NWHL.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it.
Connecticut Whalers, love this a lot.
Love it.
Really, really good.
I would buy that jersey.
Yeah, it's a really cool one. And glad they're going back to the Whaler type thing.
It's great.
Really cool.
Even the blue gloves, I'm all in. It's
great. Yeah. All right, I gotta go, guys, because I have a dog that's sick over here. But remember, folks, it was great talking today. We'll be back again tomorrow on Friday. Hopefully, maybe Kevin Allen. We'll see what's happening there. Remember, without the buzz, it is all just hockey.
Coach is Gord Murphy. Good.
What was that?
No, he asked who the Rangers defensive coach was. Somebody, and I
There
said,
you go. All right, folks. Remember, without the buzz is just hockey. We will.